Hi, class. Welcome to ADL Art Design and Location Shooting. My name is Elizabeth Perry, and I'm really glad that you stopped in to see this archive. Um, we're just going to go quickly over the particular assignments for the month. And if you have any questions whatsoever, I hope that you will contact me, email me, iChat, or rather messaging now. Anything that you want to know at all, I am more than happy to take time to answer them as best I can. Here are your assignments. The week one, you have the design and story. That's a three-part assignment. Your first assignment is to break down an excerpt and then write a scene about that, a script. You then will break that down for your breakdown sheet, which is a little more mechanical. And then your third portion will be more visual. So you'll go through sample board and you'll create images, select images that will represent your visual story that you've come up with. And I'm hoping at that point you're going to, you should be applying the elements of art as you know them. I know you've studied them in art history and you've picked them up again, I know, in CBD and some other classes. So I really want to see you apply that. I want you to have fun with it, but I want you to really look for things that are visually stimulating and really sum up your story and the feel that you would have for that. You then have location research. This is going to be, you'll have 5 options. You'll actually choose 2 out of 5. One will be a narrative. The other 4 will be um, like a music video, commercial spot, corporate, so on. So uh, you will go and do your location research for those. You'll get the location information form filled out for 2 locations, and you'll get all the information about those. So if you were to actually go and shoot it, you would have everything that you needed. Then you're going to go and shoot those images, and I want you to consider very strongly the principles of design and your lighting and everything that you've had up to this point. Uh, I feel like you've been given a lot of tools. Now I want you to have some time to actually use them and apply them uh, in something that hopefully will be fun for you. Then, after you get all of that, you'll go into, you'll also have a panorama that you'll be required to upload with your location stills, for example. Um, After you've done all your locations shots that are all shot by you, all original images, then you'll also put those into a mood board. And if you have Photoshop background, then you're encouraged to go ahead and Photoshop some of your images here. You would never want to Photoshop your location stills. Um, if you have, for example, telephone lines in one of your locations, you don't want to take them out because when they go to post, it might be very expensive for them to take those out. The art director and the director, they want to know that those are actually there. The production designer, they all want to know that what they're looking at originally. So we don't touch up our location stills. Okay, so the first assignment is really, like I said, it's very um, it's not a difficult one. It's a 3-parter. If you're not strong in visual arts, you might feel a little more comfortable with the first portion. That's enables this project to be offset. Like I said, the middle part, the breakdown is a little more mechanical, but it does require a certain amount of attention to detail to do that, and that's the experience I want you to have. Your discussion board this week, I wanted to be sure that you had ample time to complete everything. I know that you're coming out of DC1, and it was a challenging month for some of you. And so, I know some people are uncomfortable without having a discussion board that's due this week, but I promise you it'll be the only one like that. And it's where you're going to be able to look at different art styles and periods and relate them to art direction for this particular assignment. But I really want you focusing more on the assignment this particular week. So you're going to write a narrative script. Those of you who have chosen a narrative for your final project, I hope will pay attention to, just how long it takes you to write a single scene. That might be important to you. And then you're just going to, like I said, transfer the items to the breakdown sheet. And then you're going to create your mood board demonstrating the elements of art that you've been learning and talking about when you were looking at masterworks and so on. Be sure to use the template that's provided. That's to make things easier for you and so that everything could be uploaded at one time to FSL. So, mood boards can be as simple or as complicated as your concept. This one's somewhat simple, but we still could go on talking about it at length if we broke it down. And that's what I want you to do you'll do that in your week 2 discussion. You'll take your mood board and you will be expected to outline the elements of art and the art styles that you've chosen and really explore it and talk about it in full. Why sample board? Because sample board has copyright-free images. If you've already had a sample board trial, it's only 14 days. So if you've had one and it expired, then you are free to use something else. However, you would have to cite all of the images that you have, and you would have to be sure that were actually free to use them. So you would have to go to Creative Commons or something like this, which you can, and prepare those images in another board. All I'm asking you to do for this assignment is to cite sample board because as far as they know, all of their images are already copyright free. So I can't stress enough how important that is, not to use other people's images without permission. So, and even if someone gives you permission, it doesn't mean that the photographer who actually took the work gave them permission to use it in the way that they are saying that you can. So it's really important. So that's why we're using sample board for this. This might be an example. Again, it's a very simple one, but it has the color patches that you're required to use. And I hope you get as in-depth as possible with these things. Of course, you have shapes. You can see those directly, and you've got space. And you also have metallics and textures. So I want you to look very closely at some of the images that you select. There's all types of different mood boards depending on whatever genre that you've come up with, um, depending on the excerpt that you chose. Um, I'm really excited to see them. I can't wait to see the variety uh, given the different topics and how you envision some classic story. I think it'll be really fun. The elements of art, for example, in this image you can see the lines. Obviously, they're somewhat Art Nouveau. I would describe those as a Nouveau or organic style, and of course the texture is wrought iron. You have the squares, and they also duplicate, but I wouldn't, overwork this particular image and go into everything. As far as value, not a lot of value. It's not the best demonstration of value, so you would want to have something that has a better demonstration of value. Form, you might have something with a little more chiaroscuro, more lights and darks involved. Value, that's going to be related to your contrast. So, and of course, color. We want you to be able to discuss all of those things in the images that you choose, and I want a variety, but I do want it to be coherent at the same time. So on your discussions, the first week is just art styles, and I do want to find out what it is you like. So um, to me, that tells me a lot more, and I want you to be able to explore the things that you like this particular week. It will be the only week that you really get the chance to just do whatever you want. There are some requirements, of course. You need to have complete sentences. You need to have a citation. And I think you might enjoy Oxford Art Online. And we are free to use those images in your schoolwork because it comes through Full Sail that's purchased that. Your second discussion board will be your mood board uploaded, and that's where you're going to talk at length about the elements of art that you've used and how it affects the scene. You'll have to defend why the images represent the scene that you have written. We should be able to look at your mood board and not see your script for this particular assignment and be able to know what story certainly that you are illustrating. Okay. Then you'll have your locations research. On that discussion, I want to get an update of what's going on. I know that you need a particular number of business days to get information from your contacts from the film commission, and so I just want to know how that's going. And because you're going to have these due, and because this is not really a trial location research, this is for something that you're going to go and shoot. It's going to be very important and dependent. It depends on this assignment how successful your next week will be. So I really want to touch base with you there and find out how you're doing with your locations information. Then you'll be uploading a mood board based on your own images of the location that you chose. Your locations are, you are going to have a signed synopsis. There'll be 5, as we discussed, and you'll choose 2. And then when you go and shoot those will be the images that you use for your final mood board. Okay. So the things you want to think about would be to deliver a coherent message. You want to provide a clear center of attention. One of the things that happens when you're on location, you have all these different things in your view, in your peripheral view, and some of it can be quite exciting, and you think that you really got it on film. And then when you look at it, you just don't have all of that going on, and somehow it isn't captured. So you really have to be able, before you go and do that, before you shoot, look around and find out what really sums this up. What is the strongest icon of this particular location? What do I have to get this point across? So when you're talking about content, that's what you need to look at. And obviously, you want to be aware of your background. Oftentimes, that's the difference between an amateur and a professional, is the amateur forgets to think about the background sometimes. So we want you to think about all those things, and hopefully you'll get some really great details from your location. Be aware that if you want some great relief shots, that is carvings or anything like that, that you get the light hitting from the side, so it really creates that shadow that you'll need to make it distinct. Just whatever uh, portion makes it special, you want to get that, but you want to get your overall as well. So it's a combination of both, and I'm hoping that you enjoy doing that and summarizing your location. Uh, and you'll definitely want to use your light. You're going to want to think about what time you're going to this location and why you would go there at that time, considering your synopsis and what it is you're going for. And this mood board will be, what you would give your art director or your production designer or your director as a means of communication, how you want to look. DPs do it all the time also. They want to know, how do they tell their director, this is the look that I think, really sums us up best. So you obviously want to create an illusion of space. You're going to think about what lenses you're using, or depth of field that you're using, to summarize the story. What's going to illustrate it the best. What's going to communicate exactly what you're looking for. All right. So those are some of the things you'll think about throughout the month. Okay, so thank you. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please contact me. I'm very happy to answer any of your questions. If you see me online, go ahead and chat me up. I love hearing from you, and I hope to hear from you soon. All right, have a great evening. Good night. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing the recording 1, 2, and 3.